Hello everyone! On today's lesson, we're going to learn how to write an email, a step-by-step guideline. So let's get started. Writing emails. Emails vary in formality depending on how well you know the reader and what your status is in relation to them. All emails should be polite, but they vary in level of politeness depending on who you are writing to and what you're asking them. This email guide helps you with the structure of emails plus tips and phrases you can use. General email structure. Number 1, you will need the subject line. This shows the reader the exact subject of the email. Number 2, date. Number 3, salutation or greeting. Some people start with hi, others with the first name of the reader, like Mr. or Mrs. Smith, for example. Number 3, reason for writing. Number 4, main point. And number 5, closing. There are a variety of closing phrases. These depend on the level of formality your email will be. Now let's look at general tips. Tip number 1. Use a descriptive subject line. Tip number 2. Keep your emails short. Tip number 3. Write simple, direct English. Tip number 4. Make sure your reader knows what to do next. Tip number 5. Reduce the amount of email you send. Tip number 6. Don't send heavy attachments. Tip number 7. Be careful what you write in your email. And tip number 8. Check your email before you send it. So let's look into each point. Let's start with tip number 1. Use a descriptive subject line. Say what the email is about in a few words. Instead of writing urgent, write meeting at 10 a.m. about pay rise, for example. Use a subject line each time you reply to an email to avoid subject lines starting RE, which means regarding. Avoid writing general subject lines such as hello or hi, as some email providers automatically delete these as spam. Step number 3. Write simple direct English. Use active forms instead of passive forms. Write short sentences rather than long ones. Don't use idioms. Use common words rather than technical or jargon words if your reader is not in the same field as you. Tip number 4. Make sure your reader knows what to do next. Help your reader act on your email. For example, if you want your reader to find some information for you, write, "Please, can you find me the sales figures for 2019? Instead of the less direct, "I'm going to need the sales figures for 2019. Tip number 5. Reduce the amount of email you send. Here are some ways you can reduce the number of emails you send to people. Make a phone call rather than write an email. This is particularly effective if you only want a quick piece of information. Only write an email to the people who need to see it. Don't automatically click reply to all. Don't take part in chain emails. When you have to forward something to a lot of people, for example. Don't reply to spam. Tip number 6. Don't send heavy attachments. If possible, send a zip file or give web addresses where your reader can find information. Tip number 7. Be careful what you write in your email. Try to make your emails informative and polite, and use a neutral tone. Remember that your reader could forward your email to other people, so only write what you would be happy for other people to read. No gossip, no personal comments, no confidential information, and no ambiguous English such as sarcastic humor. Avoid using emoticons and smiles in business emails, or too many exclamation marks. Tip number 8. Check your email before you send it. Use a spell check to eliminate spelling mistakes. Read your email aloud to check for grammar and punctuation errors. Ask yourself these questions. Is this clear? Does my reader know what to do next? Is this polite? Now let's take a look at the language bank for writing emails. Formal and informal writing. So for greetings, informal, you would say, Dear Madam or Dear Sir, Dear Mr., Dear Mrs. Informal email writing, Hi, hello, hey. If you want to start a formal email, you will write, I'm writing in reference to. I'm writing to inquire about. Instead, if you want to write an informal letter to your friend or to your relative or an acquaintance, you can write just a quick note to tell you. When you want to thank the recipient of a formal email, you will thank you for getting back to me, or thank you for your prompt reply. If you want to thank to a family member, a friend, or an acquaintance, you would write, Thanks for your answer about. If you want to add closing remarks to a formal email, you will use the following expressions. Thank you for your consideration, or I look forward to hearing from you. Would it be possible if you want to request something? Instead, for an informal email, you can write, Feel free to, or if you want to ask for something, you can use can you. Can you call me later, for example? When you want to close a formal email, you will use one of the following expressions. Regards, best regards, yours faithfully. Instead, if you want to close an informal email, you can say, Speak to you soon, thanks, love, all the best, cheers. After this, you will sign your name. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you have any questions about writing emails, post them below this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. If you liked the lesson, hit on the like button, please. If you want to share the lesson, please do. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.